Welcome to Industry Gossip. My name is Manish Kata, and with me I have CMO Christopher Norton. Let's get to it, sir.
All right, this first one is interesting. After Brinker completed their transition to Orion's software and proven that enterprise deal out, Noreen Beaman has stepped down as the president of Orion Advisor Solutions. Underrated or overrated?
I think this news is a little underrated in the sense that if you're working with these firms out there that are going out and acquiring other firms, what's crystal clear, at least to me as an industry observer, is that it's very difficult to meld different business philosophies. And what I mean by that is Brinker is an asset manager. Orion Advisor Tech is a technology company. The way they operate, the way they look at clients and revenue is vastly different. So to then put an asset management leader in charge of the technology side, it can cause problems. And look, we don't have any inside information on what happened and what didn't happen. But ultimately, I think that the story for any of these companies that are merging is to be very careful on who you're putting in charge and where their incentives may lay. And so, obviously I wish them well. They're a partner of ours. I'm happy that maybe the tech people are back in charge versus the asset management people, because we use the tech side. And so we'll see how it plays out. But as of now, I'd say that overall that the news itself is a little underrated.
Okay, I want to pronounce this next one accurately. Potomac Fund Management has launched a new research product for advisors with the distinction that it's coming from people that actually manage money. Underrated or overrated?
I'm going to give this one, even though it's our own news, I'm going to say it's overrated for our audience, and I'll tell you why. Because the audience that consumes Potomac, for the most part, either they use us for our TAM or they use us for our models. For them, this isn't no big deal because we already provide a ton of research for them. Where this news is going to be underrated is for maybe folks at a wire or advisors who manage their own book of business, because what we're offering is a toolkit for financial advisors in terms of research, actionable research that you can go out there and manage your client portfolios with. And since we're money managers ourselves, it adds a little bit of spice there, right? Because we're not just reporting on the news, we're actually making the news.
Well, just to play devil's advocate, if the 15,000 people who enjoy this show, we love you, all signed up for research, we would be very, very happy.
And rich.
All right, in acquisition news,
Acquisition Watch.
UBS has purchased the wealth management specialist with your favorite website, Wealthfront. Underrated or overrated?
Overrated. I mean, it's been proven over and over again that the robo concept, the business model just doesn't work. There's not enough revenue for the company to actually survive unless they scale massively, really fast. And the problem with scaling really fast is your customer service goes to shit. And so one by one, every robo, which a lot of us in the industry predicted, is swallowed by a larger asset management company, because in their shoes, it's easier just to acquire the technology in many cases than to build it from scratch. And so I don't know. I don't think there's any robos left. So the news itself is quite overrated because we're probably not going to hear any more about it in the near future. They've all been acquired.
All right, this next one really rolls off the tongue. AssetMark Marketing Advantage is the new all-in-one marketing platform from AssetMark. Underrated or overrated?
All-in-one marketing. I think I'm just going to leave this one alone and let you have it. Christopher Norton, underrated or overrated?
So look, there's a lot of things that you could point to, and one of them is the fact that I think we cover one of these in like every other episode, but I read the full press release, and it's more interesting what's not in the release than what's in it, because they say all the things you would expect: CRM integration, automated email campaigns, turnkey event dashboard, but nowhere in the announcement do they talk at all about the content in the platform. They don't talk about who's writing it. They don't talk about how they go after different markets. and can help you with different niche approaches. Nothing. There's no information about the content whatsoever, and that says it all. Overrated.
Well, for one, because you can't outsource content as much as people want to, because they have other things to do with their lives. That's one thing that you should never outsource, but to each their own.
Agreed. Okay, last one this outing. Hightower has gone full wirehouse and filed lawsuits against ex-advisors. Overrated or underrated?
This is underrated news for people that are joining, or maybe not by choice, associating themselves with these RIA aggregators. Because what you're going to find is that these firms are selling themselves as RIAs, but they're becoming more and more like wires every day. With every news release, they're becoming more and more like wires. Now listen, we stand for the little guy here at Potomac, and I know that there's two sides to every story, and we don't know what employment agreements certain advisors have signed with these folks where, in exchange for money, they're, locking in their clients and giving up a lot of mobility. But ultimately, it's not a good look, right? I mean, Hightower is in the news talking about their PE and their growth and how they're for the independent, and then they're going after a $39 million advisor. I mean, come on, like, how is this going to gain any goodwill with the RIA community? Once again, we don't know the details, but work it out behind the scenes. It doesn't have to come down to a lawsuit where you are literally going after someone's way of living, which in many cases, many of those clients are probably bought on by the advisor before he even joined Hightower. Look, full disclosure, the advisor in question is a friend of the firm, so obviously, we have some loyalty here, but otherwise, move on with your life. You have plenty, PE-backed RIA aggregator, find something else to do.
I likewise know people who are in the marketing side of Hightower, and I do not envy the situation that they're in, trying to reach their audience while also having that in the headlines. Like you said, not a great look. That will do it for this episode of Industry Gossip. Please continue to watch this show. It's the #1 reason why I still have my job, and we'll see you back in a few weeks.